that you guys are doing well. I will be soft speaking this video just because it's going to be a longer video today. I decided to give a book tour, not that anybody asked, but if you know me, I am a very avid reader. I love reading. It's one of my all-time favorite hobbies. So if you are a book lover as well, feel free to continue watching to see what new books might interest you. If you are not at all interested in books and you think it's the worst thing in the world, no pressure to stay. I'm excited to show you the books that I have read, the books that I will read, and the books that I am currently reading. I do want to preface by saying that my top 3 favorite genres are poetry, romance, and fantasy, so that's what you'll be seeing a lot of. We have a lot to unpack. Let's just go ahead and get into it. We have those shelves on that wall. We have that spinny bookshelf, and then we have these bookshelves. So there's a lot, but we are going to get through it. I'm going to start with the bookshelf that's closest to me. Right on top, we have a poetry book. It's the new poems of Emily Dickinson. I have not read this yet. I haven't read anything by Dickinson, but I'm very excited to unpack this. Moving on, this is Unlock Your Storybook Heart by Amanda Lovelace. I have read several books by Lovelace before, but this one I have not read. I absolutely love this writer though, and I recommend any of their books. Look at this illustration. It's so beautiful. But I was just very attracted to this little green book on the title page. Next is another one by Lovelace. It's called Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things. Again, look at these beautiful illustrations. I am just beyond excited to start reading this one as well. I usually zoom through poetry books. Next is Diary of a Romantica. I have not read this one. It's a poetry book. I love the drawings as well. I don't know anything about this author, but I am intrigued. They all have such lovely illustrations. Also, I do not have any nails because my nails have been breaking a lot lately, and with my new job and working with children, they've been crazy, so I'm restarting. My tapping won't be that well. Next is this book called The Collected Poems of Maudson Hartley. I have not read this. My future mother-in-law bought this for me. It's kind of a collector's book, but I just think it is so lovely. I love the color. Next, this is... It's kind of hard to read. Let me open the page. The Collected Poems of Edith Sitwell. Again, this is another collector's edition. It's a very old book, but I'm very excited to take a look at this. I love the material of this cover. All of those are ones I have not read, by the way. Next is the series by Lori Gilmore. We have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Christmas Tree Farm, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. I am absolutely obsessed with these. Everything about them is absolutely stunning. I have not read these yet, but I am so excited to start because they just look so adorable. I do want to say the books that I'm currently reading, I think there's 2 of them right now. I'm reading Outlander, which I will show you later, and then I'm also reading The Veiled Kingdom. It's a series of 3 books. I am on the 3rd book, and I'm about halfway through. It's on my iPad. I don't usually read audiobooks just because I prefer the physical copy, but I saw that on the iPad and it was very cheap, and I was like, this is interesting. And I zoomed through the 1st and the 2nd book, and now I'm on the 3rd one. I'm pretty sure the writer just released it like March maybe, but I just wanted to let you guys know of that. These are the next 3. So Planting Grapes Planting Gardens and Graves by R.H. Sin. I have read several books by this writer. This is poetry once again. I'm going to read the back page. The gardens are people, and sometimes we plant the seeds of our love in the wrong garden. But I just absolutely love the way that these books are set up, and I can zoom through these. I have yet to read this one. Moving on, when I saw this, I was so excited about it. And then the barista at the cafe I was at said I should buy it. This is The Spell Shop. I think it is so adorable. Like, look at that. Next is by Penelope Douglas. This is the book Falling Away. I have not read this. I have not read anything by Penelope Douglas. There's a lot of books I haven't read. I have a bad habit of buying a bunch of books and then they stack up and then I eventually read them. But yeah, that completes our second bookshelf and we're on to the third. These are all poetry books. The first one, which you've probably seen in some of my videos, is The Way Forward. It's a poetry book. I haven't officially started reading it, but I'm very excited to. Next, these are all by the same writer. Thomas is the last name. This one is called The Secret of You, The Truth of You, and Every Word You Cannot Say. I was at Barnes & Noble and I saw all three of these books and I've never heard of this writer before, but I was just blown away by the illustration and I was like, wow, these are also very thick poetry books because typically most poetry books I've seen have been smaller, so I was very excited and I just went ahead and bought all three and I'm gonna see if I like them. Again, I have not read these yet. But that completes the third bookshelf and we are moving on to the ones back there. This is Outlander, the book I am currently reading. I'm a little less than halfway through. I will say this book has its really good parts, but it is so slow right now and I am very bored. So I have been reading this for probably like 6 months. And I'm like having reader's block. It has like 600 something pages, so this is the longest book I've ever decided to read other than the Holy Bible. So it's going slow. Next, I have The Great Gatsby. I have not read this or seen the musical or anything like that. But I think this is just such a classic and I just bought it because I wanted to read it. Moving on, I have kind of started reading this. I'm only 42 pages in, but it's called 18 Years. The back says, this book is meant to be bent and worn, written in, tear-stained, and loved. This book is for you. I love the drawing. I love that little saying. I just love poetry books. So this one, really good so far. This is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I have a whole Colleen Hoover section. I have all of Colleen Hoover's books. I have not read all of them, but I have all of them. So I think I'm a chapter in this one. I don't even remember what the first chapter was about, so I'm gonna have to restart this. But I'm sure when I first started it, it was great. Haven't actually read it yet, but there's this one. Next, I think this is the newest book I've gotten. It's called Nothing Like the Movies. I just thought it was really interesting. I've read the inside. It's your typical, like, fall in love, move off to college kind of story. I am a college student. No, I don't relate to this, but I just thought it was just a classic storyline that I'd be interested in. Next, this book is called Hind's Feet on High Places. I have not read it. I got it for Christmas 2 years ago. My future mother-in-law got it for me. I believe it's, like religious related, but it is so beautiful. I love the visuals. That concludes those two bookshelves over there, and now we're moving on to my big spinny one. I have attempted to drag it over, and I'm just gonna start here. work my way down and then spin because this is a lot. Most of this first section is poetry and the rest it just goes. Okay, so I feel like these were the first 3 books I started my poetry reading journey out with. These are The Sun and Her Flowers, Milk and Honey, and Homebody. They are very well loved, annotated, written in, everything. These literally changed my life, made me fall in love with modern poetry, and purchase more. So these are must-haves. I 10 out of 10 recommend these. All by R.H. Sin. I have read every single one. This is the Whiskey Words and a Shovel series, so 1, 2, and 3. I loved all of them. And then this is the I Hope She Finds This series, which there are 2. So I do recommend these if you love poetry. They all talk about different things, but again, I love every single one of these. This is September Love. I have read this. It's about love, falling in love in September and falling out of love and just a bunch of stuff. But the illustration is cute and I did really enjoy this. These 2 I have not read. This is called The Chaos of Longing. Actually, I have read this. Sorry, I lied. I have read this and I really liked it. I recommend any poetry book that I've read, I recommend. She Felt Like Feeling Nothing by R.H. Sin. I have not read this one yet. I just love everything about this writer, the way they write. Each of their books are just so unique and beautiful in their own way. So yeah, totally recommend these. I just have these 2 by Amanda Lovelace. So Break Your Glass Slippers and The Princess Saves Herself in this one. This was the first one I read by her. Oh my goodness. This has me in a chokehold. I absolutely loved it. I say yes, you should buy both of these. No, this is not sponsored. I'm just promoting all of these people's books because I absolutely love them. Moving on, this one is called I Say the Sky by Colburn. I have read this one and I did like it. It was a little bit harder for me to get into. And then I have Pillow Thoughts series by Peppernell. When I first started reading Courtney Peppernell's books, it tore me up. I recommend the whole series. Yep. Moving on, I have Coffee Days, Whiskey Nights by Cyrus Parker. I loved this one. This made me think of you. This one was so adorable. Save Me an Orange. I cried. It took a toll on me. And then lastly, A Treasury of Rewarding Thoughts by Jet Long. This one was just so gentle and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And it's really funny because I got this book from a used bookstore and they sold it for $8. Back then it was $2.50, and in it the person that I guess gifted it to whomever, it was in December 1972. So it has been a while, but I feel like I'm just holding on to someone's life, like holding on to someone's treasure, and now it's my treasure. That's the thing I love about books. A lot of them are passed down, and we all have the ability to get to know them and to read them and to love. Flowers on the Moon. This is a poetry book that was gifted from me for a friend. I absolutely loved it. And then we have Swimming Lessons by Lily Reinhart. I think Lily Reinhart is just absolutely adorable, and her poetry is amazing. And this is Pride and Prejudice. I have not read this. I am very excited to though, and I just love the cover. Next is Things We Hide from the Light. I have not read this either. It's very thick, but you see this in like every store. So I'm excited to eventually read that. And I have Green Teeth. This was given to me. I have not read this either, but it looks very intriguing, and I feel like a writer can capture so much just in the cover page. Next, If He Had Been With Me. I have not read this either. Very excited to. Again, I've heard so many good things about it and the other books by this writer. And then lastly, James Patterson's Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas. I have not read this. This was also given to me. But I am excited to take a little dive into it. I don't even know what it's about, but it's very adorable. So that concludes the third one. Let's spin it around and move on to Colleen Hoover. So I'm just going to go through them and let you know which ones I've read or haven't read and what I thought of them. I've read Slammed, I've read Point of Retreat, I've read This Girl, I've read Hopeless, I've read Losing Hope, I've read Finding Cinderella, Finding Perfect, and All Your Perfects. So I've read all of those. I feel like each story by Colleen Hoover is unique within its own, so I recommend all of them. I've really loved the Slammed, Point of Retreat, and This Girl series. Absolutely amazing. I have not read Maybe Not. I have read It Ends With Us. You should go watch the movie. Some parts are kind of cringy, but overall, it's alright. It Starts With Us I've read. Reminders of Him is my absolute favorite book by Colleen Hoover so far. I still have a little bit to go, but I just fell in love with that book, the storyline, the way it was written, everything. So 10 out of 10 recommend. I've read Ugly Love, Verity. I have not read Confess or Too Late. And then on the bottom here, I have Never Never, November 9th. I haven't read either of these. Then Maybe Now and Maybe Someday. I haven't read either of those. Without Merit, I haven't read. Layla, I haven't read. And Heartbones, I haven't read. And then, as I've shown you earlier, Regretting You is another one that I have not read. But that is all of Colleen Hoover's published books, and I can confidently say I've read about half of them. And each of them I've liked in their own way. I just have some hardback books. I don't have very many. And some of these I have read when I was younger, so you'll get to know a little bit more about that. This is The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. I have not read this one. Soon the Light Will Be Perfect. I read maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I did cry. It was very sad. One of Us Is Lying, I feel like, is just a classic. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, I read when I was like in 8th grade. And then With the Fire on High. This one I read in high school, I think my freshman year, and it talks about teen pregnancy and finding yourself and just figuring out how to live even when there are struggles. I definitely recommend this for anyone who's starting out or just wants a decently easy read as an advanced reader, because this one was really good. And then here I have some of my Christian books. So Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer, I have not read, but it was given to me. Imagine Heaven, I am halfway through. It's about near-death experiences and what that's like, and like true testimonies based on that. Next is Jesus Over Everything. I started reading this when I was much younger and I could not finish it, so I think that's going to be a book I'm going to start again soon. Redefining Beautiful. I got this from my future mother-in-law, and I'm just very excited to start reading it about who God says we are and how we are loved by Him. Next is Before You Go. I got this when I graduated. I have not read it. I graduated last year. Yeah, I need to read it. From Depths We Rise. That tore me up. You should read it. Then, Holy Moments is an interactive journal. And then Lessons on the Way to Heaven is really good. There's so much dog hair and dust, I'm sorry. I really recommend this if you are Christian and you want to know. Oh my gosh, this is just such a lovely book. And then this one is Learning Hebrew, and then this very last one, it's called How to Deal with Toxic People. I was gifted that when I was in an awkward stage of quitting my last toxic job and moving on to better things. So safe to say I do not work there anymore. But I also have not read that book. I have The Notebook. The Notebook is my all-time favorite movie. So I have the book, but I have not read it yet. But I'm sure it'll be similar to the movie. Paint Me Like I Am is a poetry book that I was gifted. I have not read it, but I love the vibe of it and the illustrations and the way it looks inside is really cool. And then Bridge to Terabithia is a classic. I have not read it though. So this was given to me when I stated that I have not read it. So it's a very short read as well, so I'm sure I could get this down pretty soon. But my fiance said he sobbed after watching the movie. So next we have The Chronicles of Narnia. Believe it or not, I have not read this. I got this when I was in elementary to middle school as a Christmas gift for my grandma. I started reading the first one, but I was also very young, so I did not finish it. But I feel like this would be a pretty easy read series that I feel like I should start soon. Believe it or not, we are on our last side. So this is Girl in Pieces. I recommend if you're going through anything hard. It does deal with triggering topics though, like self-harm, depression, suicide, things like that. But it was very relatable to me and I cried a lot. Next is All the Bright Places. Don't even get me started. If you've seen the movie, wait till you read the book. You're gonna cry so much more. This book is Evermore by Alison Noel. I really liked it. I think it's a supernatural book, if I remember correctly. And I'm kind of into that fantasy stuff. It reminded me a lot of like the Vampire Diaries and the originals. Then Out of Love basically takes you from the end of a relationship to the beginning. The writer is trying to find out why her boyfriend fell out of love with her. So I cried a lot. I read that when I was going through a very hard breakup. I probably shouldn't have. Next is They Both Die at the End, which I'm sure most people have heard of or read. Read it. Just read it. Coffee Secret Cincinnati. I'm excited to talk about this book. So, my fiance's dad, my future father-in-law, James Carl Meadows, he just released this book. I have read it. I actually was part of his editing process. So I read this in 8 hours out loud to him so he could edit. But it's called Coffee Secret Cincinnati. And it's a ghost story about Cincinnati. If you live in Cincinnati or know anything about Cincinnati, you know that ghost stories and the history behind Cincinnati is pretty interesting. I totally recommend it. Some of the places in the book are real, so like there's some coffee shops and bookstores and stuff that are actually out there. You can do some research about that, but totally recommend. I really enjoyed this book. And this book is called Heidi. My future mother-in-law's name is Heidi, so I bought this book. And she also has dark hair, and she loves to dye her hair purple. I know this is blue, but it just was so cute to me. She said she's read it. I have never read it. so I was like, this would be cute, a cute little read. And next is Shudder. This is a mystery horror story. I was actually scared peeing my pants at some parts. We Were Liars tore me up. If you want to be thrown for a loop, you should get it. Dark Diaries, this is a diary from when I was a child, so we're not gonna look at it, but it was just a diary thing, like a very interactive book, not really a book. Cirque, I have not read yet, but if it's anything like The Song of Achilles, I'm gonna love it, because I loved The Song of Achilles. And then The Tinderland, I actually went to a book release with this author, William Kent Kruger, and I just really enjoyed the description of the book, and he talked a little bit about it in person, so I bought it, but I have not read it, but I think it's just so cute. We are on our final one, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. It is spicy. I have not read it, but I've heard it's good. This is called This Other Eden, and it's an Irish-based novel. I am Irish, my family is, so I got it because I thought it was so interesting, and I have not read it yet, but this is definitely going to be my next read after I finish Outlander, because I've had this book for maybe 3 or 4 months and I've been dying to read it, but I still haven't finished Outlander. And then I have oh my gosh, I almost dropped it. Bite by Bite. This is basically like just a description of foods, and I am recovering from an eating disorder, so this has helped me see food for not only that it affects my weight or the number on the scale, but the memories behind it and the people we share it with. So it's basically like giving a new look on food, which I can appreciate. I'm only a couple chapters in, but this book, even with the introduction, I was crying because I absolutely love it. I totally recommend this book 100%. Next is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I got this on my birthday. Also, look how beautiful. Are you kidding? I have not read it yet, but I am very intrigued, and I thought the description of the book was so cute. So this is definitely going to be a book I'm gonna have to read. And then finally, I have Twilight and New Moon. I don't have the full series. My mother-in-law does in her office downstairs, so I can always read those when I need to. But I have watched all of the Twilight movies, and I've adored them. Some of them are very cringy now that I'm older, and I'm like, this acting was really bad, but yeah, I really love Twilight. I've forgotten a book or two, but I believe that's just about all of my books. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. I know it's very long and I talk a lot, and sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying or what to say, but I hope that you guys enjoyed, and maybe you can find a book that you would potentially want to read. I know that I enjoyed making this video. Any excuse to talk about my books, honestly. But I hope that you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for watching.